Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. And, of course, happy Friday to everybody. I know people look forward to the weekends and whatnot. So, Friday morning, we're here. We're in Seattle at the Kingdome for the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Seattle Mariners. Blue Jays enter the game 25-14, hot on the trail of the Milwaukee Brewers for first place in the East, while Seattle is taking up residence in the basement of the American League West. This is game number 282 in our replay. It's another game, the last game we're going to show from April 23rd. There'll be two more games. I'll play those offline over the weekend, and on Monday we'll start fresh on May 24th. So, Kingdome, good hitters park for home runs. Singles only 1-5, but home runs are 1-17, lefty and righty. So, pretty good deal there. Look at the starting pitchers. Mike Moore for the Seattle Mariners. Mike Moore was 9-19 with a 4.71 ERA real world. In the replay, he's doing better than that, 3-4 and a lower ERA as well. And for the Blue Jays, it'll be Jim Clancy. He was 15-11 with a 3.54 earned run average real world. He is 7-1 on the replay. So he's doing quite well for himself. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Blue Jays are getting him a lot of runs as well. So probably a little bit of both on that. Dice here. And of course, can't start a game without this. This is mandatory equipment. Got to have it in the morning. Hello, Jeffrey, and hello, Mr. Jeremiah, and hello, Bob, all three of you. Happy Friday morning to all of you. In case you were wondering, I did not play a demolition game last night. I was just kind of tired and just didn't feel like playing one. So didn't want to force it. So I can, pick that up whenever. No big deal there. All right. So we are in Seattle and we're ready to go. Mike Moore. That's true, Bob. Like I said, for me, one day is the same as the next, but weekend is still the weekend regardless. It's just certain things happen only on weekends that are nice. So, all right. So Mike Moore, let's get his complete numbers. I told you he was 3-4 in the replay. He's 3-4 in the replay with a 4.08 ERA in the replay. He had a 4.71 real world, so he is pitching better than real world. 57 innings pitched, 59 hits, 18 walks, and 32 strikeouts. And leading off for Toronto, switch-hitting shortstop Tony Fernandez. He's hitting 374 on the replay. No homers, 12 driven in. He hit 322 real world. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you. Of course, coffee as usual. And Kathy, I don't know if you were in the stream a couple days ago where I mentioned that, I think, I believe, I'm trying to think who it was. I believe it was, why am I drawing a blank on his name now? Terrible. That's what happens when you get old. You forget names, Maybe Jeff could help me here. Why am I drawing? I'm embarrassed that I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. That's really bad. I'm not. I probably shouldn't even go there because I'm just going to embarrass myself. So I won't go there. All right. Anyway, here is. Hello, Bart. Good to see you. Here is Tony Fernandez. 2-9, and that's a pop up to short. And so Mike Moore off to a good start, getting him to pop to short. Bill, that's who. Why did I get a brain fart trying to remember Bill Ivimy's name? I don't know that. I'm not that old. I shouldn't be losing my memory like that. But anyway, Kathy, what I was talking about a couple streams ago is I told Bill, much like when Jeff was streaming his games, if you would like to do a trivia question, you're more than welcome to do so. I encourage it. So if you want to do one, that's fine. If you don't want to do one, that's fine too. But I'm all for it. That's for anybody, Jeff. Anybody that wants to do one and put it out there just for conversation, more than welcome to partake. But I still feel embarrassed. I couldn't remember Bill's name off the top of my head. That's pretty bad. All right, here is Rance Mullinex sitting 326 on the replay. 2 homers, 15 driven in, 310 real world. 1-3, and that's a ballpark single check, which is only a 1-5. That's a 13, so he will line it to second for out number 2. Thought I heard Tabby make a noise. Let me double check this. Sorry about that. Tabby is making a little crying noise. I had to check out and see what she wanted. She has plenty of food, so it's not food. I'm not sure what she was asking for, but we're back now. So slight little delay there. Yeah, Kathy, you fire them up whenever you feel the need, or that you just want to. Makes for good conversation, good community. That's what it's all about. All right, here's Willie Upshaw. We get back to the game now. Upshaw hitting 212 on the replay. No homers, 12 driven in. He at 244 real world. And what did I do with my pen? Did I take my pen in there by mistake and leave it? Don't tell me I did that. Well, I'm having a real rough game here, aren't I? I think I had the pen in my hand and set it down. And now I don't remember what I did with it. 310 for him as a single. So let me be right back. I got to go get that pen. Tell you, this has not been the way I wanted to start a game. Tabby's got me all out of sorts here. All right, so Upshaw gets the single, 2-out single, and he could get a lead here if he so chooses to try for one, but Mike Moore is a -2. So that'd be a 1, 2, and 11. You know what? They're going to try it anyway. 3 through 7, he gets the lead. 9 or a 10, he's going to be out. That's an 8, so he hit the number that did not. That's the number right in the middle, so there is no lead to worry about. And that'll bring up George Bell, left fielder. On the replay, Bell checks in, hitting 269, 10 homers, 28 driven in. He hit 308 real world. Get a 112, and that's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. That's one of those rare fly center A's. You don't see those very often where all the base runners advance. That tells you George Bell hit a lot of deep fly balls on the year for Strat to give him that kind of rating. So that's going to do it for the Blue Jays. They actually get a base hit, but nothing else, and Mike Moore gets through the inning. No runs allowed. We go to the bottom of the first. Toronto nothing, Seattle coming to bat. And that will bring up Jim Clancy to pitch. Clancy on the replay is well, in real world, Clancy was 15-11, 354 earned run average. And the replay is 7-1 with a 3.56, so he's right on his money with the earned run average. 61 innings pitched, 67 hits, 16 walks, 51 strikeouts, I should say. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Yeah, Jeremiah, this is a really nice pen that I was given, and Scrivener or something, but it's like one of those fancy office pens. I just like the way it writes, and so it's kind of like my security blanket, like Linus. You know, Linus had to have his blanket. I had to have my pen, and I had to have my coffee. So that's two things I got to have, and I got to have my Strat. So that's three things I got to have. I got to have my pen, my coffee, and Strat. Got to have all of that. All right, so John Moses will lead off. He's hitting 231, 2 homers, 18 driven in. 1-7 is a strikeout. So Clancy starts out by striking out John Moses. Brings up Phil Bradley, left fielder. He's hitting 214 on the replay, grossly underperforming. He hit 297 in the real season. So only hitting 214, that's one of the reasons why Seattle is struggling. 4 homers, 12 driven in. 610, and that's a catcher X. We're looking at Ernie Witt. He's a 2E2, but nobody's on base, so you can't have any kind of a wild pitch or anything. Hello, Tim. You're still Tribe fan to me. I don't care. Okay, you can be Clee baseball all you want, but you're still Tribe fan to me. So let's see here. He's a 2 and a 3. That's going to be a ground out. That's a 7. I don't think he makes an error on the E2. He does not. So it's a W/G. So with nobody on base, it would have been a wild pitch, but with nobody on base, it's just a 2 to 3 ground out. For out number 2. That'll bring up Scott Bradley. Bradley, the catcher. No relation to Phil Bradley. He's hitting 284, no homers, 12 driven in. He at 278 real world. 3-7, and that's a split chance. 1-2 is a single. That's a 16. It'll be a line out to second base. And that will end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down go the Mariners. At the end of 1, no score from the Kingdom. No, it's kind of odd that we're playing this game at 6 o'clock Seattle time, but that's all right. We can do that. Here is Jesse Barfield. Barfield tied for the league lead with home runs with 14 on the replay. He's got 42 runs batted in, hitting a dead even 300. He had 263 real world. 211, and that's a ballpark blast, and Jesse Barfield might like this. 1-17, that's a 6. It's gone. Home run number 15 on the replay for Jesse Barfield. He takes over the league lead in home runs. Look at it again, 211. Right there, that big ballpark blast. And Kingdom very friendly to home runs, and the 6 certainly didn't hurt the cause either. The Devil Die coming up a little lower than usual. So home run for Jesse Barfield, number 15 on the season. He takes over the league lead in that category. 15 home runs in 40 games. That's pretty good. That extrapolates to 60 home runs in a season. So not that he's going to get that, but it's just, he only had 28 real world in the whole season. He's got 15 now with his 43rd run batted in to go with it. 1-0 Blue Jays, and that'll bring up Lloyd Mosby. Mosby hitting 303 on the replay, 12 homers, 40 driven in. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. First strikeout for Mike Moore. Nice comeback after the home run. Top 4. Okay, thank you, Kathy. That gives me a chance to. I don't have the music that Jeff has, though, so we'll find some kind of way to kind of intro that, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because I don't have any kind of preset music. But we'll give you some sort of a lead in at some point. All right, so Ernie Witt, catcher, hitting 301, 5 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 269 real world. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to third. 2 down. And I'm not trying to copy Jeff per se on Stratomatic videos, but if there's certain things he did that I liked, I'll incorporate them. But I think everybody, no matter who you are, you're going to put your own spin on things. But like I said, if it's something that I like and it seems to work, I'll definitely incorporate it. All right, here's Kelly Gruber. 325 average on the replay. He's really doing well, only at 235 real world. 6 homers, 15 driven in. And of course, there's the old saying that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So here's Gruber, 1-3, and that is a ballpark single check, 1-5. The double die is a 1. Double die strikes early. Double die must have had his coffee because it's here early. Gruber is on, and he needs to get a lead. A 4 or a 5 will get him the lead. That's a 6, so he can't get it. I'll bring up Mike Sharperson, the second baseman. He's struggling at 178 on the replay. No homers, 6 driven in. He hit 208 real world. 6-3, and that's going to be a fly ball left field X. We are looking at Bradley. He's a 2E5. 2E5. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. 2E5. 2 and a 17 is good. E5 and an 8 shouldn't be a problem for a left fielder. Nope. 14, 18, and 4 are the only errors there. So good play there to end the inning. But Toronto, thanks to Jesse Barfield's 15th home run of the season, takes a 1-0 lead. And of course, it was Jeffrey that inspired me to do this all-out replay for every team. Of course, I truncated to the American League for a couple of reasons. One, because I can get through it faster. And B, I've already done a Atlanta Braves 1987 replay, so I didn't want to have to rehash all the National League again. So the only thing I miss about this is there's a DH, and that's the only thing that really kind of gets on my nerves. But other than that, I'm good. Tim, I don't know anything about the score bug or whatever that is, so I don't know. And of course, I'm not into Inside Pitch Advanced either, so maybe one day I'll come around. But right now, if I play Inside Pitch, it's going to be the original. All right, let's see. Ken Phelps, DH, 245 average on the replay, 8 homers, 26 driven in. 2-7, and he's going to draw a base on ball. Look at all those walks in column 2 for Ken Phelps. He walked 80 times, and so a lot of walks for Ken Phelps. He's not much of a runner. He's not going to go anywhere and won't be held. But he will get on base with those walks. So the leadoff walk, we'll bring up the hound dog, Jim Presley. He's hitting 211 on the replay, 9 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 247 in the real world, or real season. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Clancy as he sends Presley to Heartbreak Hotel on that one. Here's Alvin Davis hitting 304, 6 homers, 20 driven in. Hit 295 in the 87 real season. 6-10, and that's going to be a catcher X. This time there is a runner on base, so Witt has to be careful about a wild pitch. The 10 might get him by, though. I think he'll get by with a 10. Let me double check that, but I think he'll get by with a 10. 2 and a 10. 2 and a 10 is a P/F, so maybe he won't get by with it. It might be a pass ball here. We'll see. That's a 9. He's an E2, no 9 there. So P/F. So we go to P/F, and we're using the balk, wild pitch, pass ball rules. So basically what we're doing is we're referring to the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. If it falls in his wild pitch rating, that means a pass ball will occur. So the wild pitch rating on Clancy is a 10. So if we roll a 1 through 10, we'll get a wild pitch. And we do. So it is a pass ball. It is a pass ball on Ernie Witt. So Ernie Witt lets one get past him. Phelps will waddle down to second base. Alvin Davis still at the plate. 1 ball, no strike count on Davis. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Clancy, so a good comeback there. Out number 2. And now it's up to Mike Kingery. Clutch situation because the runner is on second base. Kingery in the clutch gets 1 extra hit on 111. Everywhere else he is neutral. On the replay, Kingery's hitting 282. 4 homers, 14 driven in. He at 280 real world, so he's right on his numbers. That's a 2, so chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at the balk chance of Clancy. His balk rating's a 2. And that is a 2. So Clancy's going to balk him over to third base. How about that? Phelps walks. He gets pass ball to second, and now he gets balked to third. Kingery still has to come through, though. 5-6, and he won't. It's another strikeout. So he ends up striking out the side, other than doing all the balking and the pass balling, but he strikes out the side to end the inning. We go to the third, still 1-0 Toronto. I could have, but I wanted. I'm doing this in a lot of ways to test the Stratomatic engine, so I want to keep it, as realistic as possible, as real world as possible. What I'm strongly thinking about doing, actually, instead of doing a Demolition League for the new 2025 set when it comes out, I'm strongly thinking about doing a Stratomatic 162 game replay for just one team on an older set, and just kind of follow, kind of manage one team along. And that thought's in my head. I've got a couple different thoughts in my head, but that's one of my thoughts. It's only 162 games. It's not that many compared to the length that this is, or the Demolition League, which is 270. So only downside to that is you might get tired of seeing the same team over and over. But to see them go through a season and see the ebbs and flows of a season, that could be interesting. I don't know. All right, here is Tony Fernandez. He's leading off the inning again, 4-4. And that's a ballpark single check, 1-5. That's an 11. So we keep the original result of a fly to center. That's my rule, because I like to distribute the outs, not have liners to second and short all over the place. One away. As long as it doesn't affect any other base running, I'll do that. And with bases empty, obviously it didn't. And even a fly ball C wouldn't affect anything. So here's Mullinix, 5-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Moses. He's a 2E5. 2 and a 4. That's close. Don't know if he'll get to that. We'll find out. 2 and a 4, he does. 2 and a 4, he gets to it. That's a 12, and he is an E5. There is no 12, so Moses able to run that one down. 2 away, and that's going to bring up Mr. Upshaw. He singled his first time up. 4-8, and this time he will strike out. Moore gets the K for his second strikeout to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Toronto, with the lead on the Jesse Barfield home run that has stood up so far. Here's Ray Quinones, the shortstop. He will lead off. He's hitting 234 on the replay, a homer and 17 driven in. He hit 276 real world, so yet another Mariner that is underperforming. That's a 6-3, and that's a fly ball right field X, so that's Barfield. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E3, and the only way he makes an error on the E3 is a 3, 15, or 18. And none of that showed up, so he will make the catch. And there is one away. Don't forget, top of the next inning, Kathy Harden will have a trivia question to challenge our brains and our recall. Here is Harold Reynolds hitting 240 on the replay. No homer, 7 driven in. Hit 275 real world. That's a 4-6 switch hitter batting left. He will draw the base on balls. Now, Harold Reynolds will be looking to take off here and get the lead. 2 through 6 or a 9, he can obtain a good lead. That's a 7. He does not get it. So he will hold, and that brings up John Moses. Struck out his first chance. It's a 2-3, and that's a hit by pitch. So Moses gets plunked. And that's going to put runners at first and second for Phil Bradley. So the Bradley and Bradley connection due up for Seattle now. .611, and that is a ballpark blast for Phil Bradley. That's a 4, but he has weak power against righties. He has normal against lefty, weak against righty. So the home run is condensed to a single 2 stars. It does tie the game, but he's not going to get the 3-run homer. He will just get a single. That does tie the game and does send Moses to third base. So runners on the corners now, and Bradley has a chance to get a lead. 2 through 5, he will obtain a good lead. He does with a 5. So he's a 19, being held as a 17, plus 1 from Clancy's an 18. Witt with a T4 throwing rating, 1 to 18. And he's safely in there with a stolen base. That's going to put runners at second and third. And now a single can score 2 runs. And it also eliminates a ground ball double play. Still Lomax in play, but does cut out the ground ball double play. Bradley, the batter, Scott Bradley. Infield for the Blue Jays is going to play in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. They're playing in. That's a 6-7, and that's a 1 to 8 for a single. And the double die is an 8, right on the money. So it is a base hit for Bradley. Scoring is Moses. Seattle takes a 2-1 lead. Going to third is Phil Bradley. Mariners grab a 2-1 lead. Still only 1 out. Scott Bradley, no threat to run. He will not be held. And here's Ken Phelps. He walked his first time up. Infield now looking for that double play. 2-6, and that's going to be yet another walk. It's going to load the bases. Clancy in some trouble with the hound dog, Jim Presley, although he did strike out Presley his first time. But Presley's up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Infield looking for that double play ball. That's a 2. Looking at the pass ball rating on Ernie Witt, which is a 3. No pass ball. 5-10. That's a ballpark single check. 1 to 5. Devil die shows up again. I'm telling you, it's documented. It comes up way more than 5%. I can tell you that. That's a base hit. 1 star. It's going to move everybody up 90 feet. Scoring is Phil Bradley. Scott Bradley goes to third. Phelps goes to second. Seattle now with a 3-1 lead. Still only 1 out. Bases loaded for Alvin Davis. Clancy trying to induce that double play, but can't get out of the inning. And Kathy Harden's trivia question's getting cold here. 3-10, and that is a split chance. 1 to 5 is a single. 13 this time to line out to second for out number 2. And now Kingery, the 9th man to bat in the inning, will step to the plate with the bases loaded. And 2 down, clutch situation for Kingery. Again, his only hit or only difference is a 111. He gains a hit. Everything else is neutral. So here's Kingery. 2-11, and it's going to pop it up to second base, so he gets out of it, does Clancy. But Seattle does put 3 on the board to take a 3-1 lead after 3 complete here at the Kingdom. Let's put that in the computer here real quick before I forget. All right, so as I get another sip of coffee, I don't have any music, but Miss Kathy Harden does have a trivia question to challenge our memory and our baseball knowledge. So make sure you pay attention to her. Kathy has the floor whenever she is ready. Okay, let's look at it. I'll read it off like Jeff said, because some people aren't watching the chat. The chat doesn't show up until later. This pitcher threw a no-hitter to clinch the division title for his team. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Tim, I think you got it right. I think Mike Scott did against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did that in '86 against the Giants, but I could be wrong. But I think he's the one that did that. So if I had to guess, I would say Tim got that right, but Kathy will tell us for sure. But I'm pretty sure. I don't have a Mike Ikes or whatever they call those things to give you, Tim, but if you get it right, which I assume you have, but don't know yet. We'll see if anybody else wants to chime. Oh, you got it, Tim. Okay, he did get it. All right, cool. You got that award from Kathy. That's the best I can do. I don't have any, like I said, I don't have any candy to put out. So maybe I need to start doing that. I don't know. Or maybe I need to find something unique that I can do that's different. I don't know. Appreciate that, Kathy. Excellent trivia question. At first, I couldn't remember who it was, and then as soon as Tim chimed in, it's like he's got it because I actually remember that game. So I think Will Clark might have been the last. Tim, was Will Clark the last out in that game? I seem to remember that Will Clark's the one that grounded out to like Glenn Davis or something, and Glenn Davis just took the ball to the bag himself. And I remember Mike Scott jumping around. It's the best memory I got of that. But I'm thinking that's what Will Clark made the last out, grounded to first. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, you fact check it for me. Here is George Bell, 5'7", and that's a single. Leadoff single for Bell. Ooh, my pen messing up here. All right, there we go. Single for Bell. Jelly Belly, is that what it was? I thought it was Mike Ikes, but maybe he did both. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I do seem to remember that the last out was Will Clark grounding to first with Glenn Davis taking it to the bag himself and then Mike Scott jumping around. But that's just, like I said, my memory is not what it used to be, that's for sure. All right, here is Barfield. He homered his first time up. 4-6. This time he'll hit a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Quinones. He's a 3E31. Well, thank you for confirming that, Tim. So ground ball shortstop X, he's a 3E31. 3 and a 16 might be a double play. Very possibly could be. 3 and a 16 is a G1, so he's got a chance. At 12, he's an E31. No 12, so it will be a double play. 6-4-3. Quinones and Reynolds. We're watching baseball tonight to figure out how to do the fielding properly, and there you go. 2 quick outs, and here's Lloyd Mosby. 2-10, and that is a ground ball right back to Moore to end the inning. So Seattle could put a damper on Toronto's bid to make up ground on Milwaukee. Brewers and Yankees are both loving this result so far. We go to the bottom of but it's still a ways to go. We're only in the bottom of the fourth, so anything is can and liable to happen with these dice. That's the thing about dice. Mike Witt, wasn't Mike Witt's perfect game on like the last day of the season? I seem to remember the game was in Texas and he pitched a complete game, a perfect game on the very last day of the 84 season. I think it was 84. 83 or 84, but I'm thinking it's 84. All right, here's Ray Quinones. Quinones, 5-5, is a fly to right field. And Barfield makes the play, 1 down. Here's Harold Reynolds. 3-7, and he's going to ground to first. Upshaw will take it to the bag himself. 2 down for John Holy Moses. And Kathy, if you want to do a second one, feel free. No limitations. Whatever floats your boat, as the saying goes. 1-7, and that is a strikeout. Moses out on strikeout number 5 for Clancy. 1-2-3 inning, much better than his third inning. But after 4 complete, it's Seattle 3 and Toronto 1. Not to put any pressure on the Kathy. I'm not putting you on I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean, I'm just saying if you feel up to it or feel like you want to do it, don't feel like you're limited to 1. Is all I'm saying. Whatever you feel comfortable with. All right, here's Ernie Witt to lead off the the top of the 5th. 6'8", left-handed, and that is a 1-12 double, 13-20 single. That's an 18. So Ernie Witt, a leadoff base hit. Brings up Kelly Gruber. Witt, no threat to run, will not be held. Kelly Gruber singled his first time up. 6-4 is a line out to third, snagged by Presley. 1 away for Mike Sharperson. Sharperson Flew out to left his first chance. He does not play very much longer with Toronto. They will move on and go to Nelson Lariano, a rookie, to play second base because Sharpson just didn't work out for him. 2-11, and he's going to fly it to right field. That's 2 away. You don't have to abstain, Tim. If you want to jump in, feel free. If you got the knowledge, go for it. Unless you want to wait a second and see if somebody else gets it, then chime in. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do with that. Here's Tony Fernandez. 6'3", and left-handed is a fly ball left field X. That is Phil Bradley. It's a 2E5. 2 and a 6. 2 and a 6. I think he's going to be okay with that. 2 and a 6 is an F2. That's a total of 11. And he is an E5. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Nope, it's not. So good play for Phil Bradley to end the inning. And boy, Mike Moore has, other than that home run ball to Barfield, he's just totally shut down the powerful Blue Jays through 5 innings. Mariners lead it 3-1. And Phil Bradley will lead off against Mr. Clancy. Single, stole a base in that 3rd inning, right in the middle of those 3 runs. 6-12 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Tony Fernandez. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at E17. And for an E17 shortstop, he has to avoid 15, 16, and 17. Anything else, he makes the play. And he does. So Tony Fernandez will throw out Phil Bradley. Comes Scott Bradley. Bradley. Whoa. Where'd you go here? Scott Bradley. 2-8 for Scott Bradley. He grounds to second. 2 down. So it seems like Clancy has settled in since that rough 3rd inning. So here's Ken Phelps. He's walked twice. 5-9. This time he'll ground to second. And it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Clancy. We finished 5 complete in Seattle. Top 8, question 2. Cool. Who made the final out for the White Sox in that? I remember that no-hitter. It was a strikeout, but I don't remember who was batting. But I remember it being a strikeout because I remember Lance Parrish coming up out of his crouch and them celebrating, but I don't remember who made the last out for the White Sox. I would like to think it was Harold Baines because he's a bogus Hall of Famer, but it probably was not him. It was probably somebody else. All right. Moore has fatigue of 7, so he's still good to go here in the 6th. He'll be facing Mullenix, Upshaw, and Bell. To start the 6th. 3-12, and that is a ballpark blast for Mullenix. It's a 1-17. That's a 6. And, of course, he's got the normal power since he's got it on his card. So Rance Mullenix, his 3rd home run of the season, courtesy of the Kingdome. Cuts the lead to 3-2. Look at it again, 3-12. Ballpark blast. 17 is going to allow a lot of stuff, and 6 on the D20 took care of that. So Mullenix, home run number 3, RBI number 16 on the season. Cuts the lead to 3-2. And here's Willie Upshaw. 2-6, and he's going to ground it to first. Alvin Davis will scamper to the bag to make the out for himself, waving off Mike Moore. Here's George Bell. 2-7, and he's going to get a single to right field. 1-out single for Bell. Bell will not go anywhere. And here's Barfield. He hit the home run his first time up, but then he hit into a double play his second time up. Been kind of feast or famine. Yeah, Chuck, can you give us a hint? Well, the hint might give it away. I don't know. Six, 7. And that's going to be a ground ball second base X, but with the runner not being held, second baseman Reynolds will keep his 2E21. So chance for a double play. But not with the double die coming up as a 2. He'll be lucky to get to it. 2 and a 2, he's not going to get to it. That's going to be a single. 1-star single, and that's a 12. And let's see, Reynolds is an E21. There's an 11 there. I'm sorry, over here. E21. There's a 13 here, but no 12. So Reynolds avoids the error, but the base hit by Barfield sneaks through on the AstroTurf and runners at first and second with 1 out and 1 already in for Lloyd Mosby. To make the answer easier, his name sounds like an M&M fruit candy brand. Oh, Ron Kittle, because it sounds like Skittle. Maybe that's the one. Is that it? Chuck, is it Ron Paul Kittle? Because it sounds like Skittles? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I just remember him, whoever it was, I remember them striking out because that was the final out. The ball never made it to the, never got into play. Here's Mosby. That's a 2-7, and that's a strikeout. Mosby out on strikes for out number 2, and that's strikeout number 3 for Mike Moore. Clutch situation now for Ernie Witt with 2 on and 2 outs and 1 in. Ernie Witt in the clutch. Gains a hit, 2-2 and 2-11. And that's it. Everywhere else is neutral. So 2-2 and 2-11, he will get a clutch hit. 2-8, and that is he's going to get a hit, not clutch, but he's going to get a hit anyway. 110's a double. That's a 3. It's a double, 2 stars. We got a tie game. RBI double for Ernie Witt scores George Bell to tie the game at 3. And Barfield will take third. It was a 2-star double, so the runner could not score from first. So Ernie Witt has tied the game. And Kelly Gruber. Blue Jays looking for more. They have second and third. Pardon the pun. They're looking for more. Second and third, 2 outs. Clutch situation now for Gruber. He loses a hit on 2-3. He loses a bunch of hits here, 3-8 and 3-9. So 3 different places he is anti-clutch. 5-7, though, is a single to right field. So that'll score the run. I don't know if it'll score the second run because Witt doesn't run well. Scoring is Barfield. Witt's a 10. Was not being held makes him an 11. 2 outs makes him a 13. Kingery, though, is a -2 arm. You're looking at a 1 to an 11. They're going to send him. It's a 55% chance. I mean, that's better than what Sharperson would be at the plate. So 1 to 11, he scores. He is out. So Ernie Witt is thrown out at the plate by Kingery, 9-2, but it was worth the gamble. And the Blue Jays take the lead. They put 3 spot up in the 6th, and they have claimed the lead back from Seattle. 3-1. So put this in the computer. A single for Gruber. Scoring is Barfield, but out at the plate is Witt, and the out goes 9-2. I'm sorry, 9-2. So all of a sudden now Jim Clancy's been given a reprieve. He now has a 4-3 lead to protect. He's going to be facing Presley, Davis, and Kingery for the Mariners. Bottom of the 6th. Now a 4-3 Toronto lead. Don't forget, top of the 8th. Kathy Harden has a trivia question for us. So sure you put your thinking caps on for that, like they used to tell us back in elementary school. Thinking caps on. 3-10 for Presley is going to be a single. 1 would have been a double, but he gets the single instead. Back come the Mariners. Presley, no threat to run. He will hold. Here's Alvin Davis. 2-3, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 6 for Clancy. And that'll bring us to Mike Kingery. .66 left-handed, and that's another strikeout for Clancy. There's a dot there, but he has not reached the fatigue inning yet. 7th strikeout. Whoops, I put the single in there by mistake. Let me fix that. Good thing the computer has the undo button. I didn't hit enough S's to get the strikeout. I only hit 2 of them and got me to single. 3 of them get you the strikeout. So that'll take us to Ray Quinones with 2 outs. Runner at first in Presley. 1-5, and he's going to ground it to short to end the inning. So 6 innings are in the books. It's now Toronto 4 and Seattle 3. Good one here at the Kingdom. Mike Moore, this will be his fatigue inning. Going to be facing Sharperson, Fernandez, and Mullenix. Seattle bullpen. Let's look at their bullpen and see who needs the rest and who is well rested and all that good stuff. I don't want to overwork anybody. So looking at their bullpen, they have a brand new player that they called up, and they could go to him, but he's not very good. So Steve Shields has not pitched in the replay yet, but he was 2-0. But a .660 earned run average in 30 innings pitched with 3 saves. So his whip was 1.83. So it doesn't look like a guy I would want closing games for me, but they just didn't really have a closer in 87. So he's certainly available. Let's check on Jerry Reed. He's about average on his uses, so they could use him. Stan Clark, a lefty. He certainly has availability. Wilkinson, the lefty, as well. So they basically got 4 pitchers. Let's check. Did I forget Nunez? Where's Nunez? Oh, Nunez is not even on the roster, so they got 4. I'm going to move him off the roster. Okay. So those are the 4 guys Seattle could go to. They got 2 lefties, Wilkinson and Clark, or 2 righties, Reed and Shields. Those are the decisions that Dick Williams will have to make going forward. So we're going to start the top of the 7th. With Mr. Sharperson. 5-6, and that is a split chance. But since it's not a 1, it's going to be a line out to short. 1 away for the top of the order in Tony Fernandez. So Fernandez, 0 for 3. 6-8. Not 0 for 3 anymore. 112 is a double. It'll be a single for Tony Fernandez. His first hit of the game. And he will probably look to get a good lead. He needs a 6 or a 7 to do so. Oh, now one die got hung up there, so let's re-roll this. Does not get the lead, so he will hold. Here's Rance Mullenix. 6'4", left-handed. Pops it up to first. Alvin Davis will secure it. 2 down for Willie Upshaw. Upshaw is the batter. 1-5, and that is going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Mike Moore. So he keeps his endurance into the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch, but I'm feeling pretty good, so we're not going to stretch. We're going to just keep rolling. Keep moving on. Coffee's still relatively warm, so I kind of nuked it before I came up here to make sure it was extra hot, so it maintained some of its warmth. Bottom of the 7th we go. Harold Reynolds will lead things off. We are in the area where you can pinch hit if you like. Reynolds is a 275 hitter, though, so they're not going to pinch hit for him. Clancy to Reynolds. 6-5, and that's a fly to left. Hauled in by Bell. 1 down for John Moses. And Moses, as a leadoff man, has struck out twice and been hit by a pitch. 4-11, switch hitter. Ground ball first base, X. We're looking at Upshaw. He's a 2E11. 2E11. 2 and a 3. That's questionable. 2 and a 3 is a G3 pound. G3 pound, but nobody's on base to be held, so that's not a problem. It'll still be a G3. That's a 10. Upshaw's an 11. No error there. So a 3-1 ground out as he flips to Clancy covering for out number 2. 2 down for Phil Bradley. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. It's only a 1-5, so that's going to end up being a line out to second base. Keep the original result there. Line out to second to end the inning, and Clancy keeps full endurance into the 8th inning. So after 7 complete here in Seattle, score remains Toronto 4, Seattle 3. And now if you would give your attention to Miss Kathy Harden, she does have a trivia question for us in the top of the 8th. Put your thinking caps on. Put your baseball history caps on, although it doesn't necessarily have to be about baseball. It can be about anything. Let's see here what the question is. In 11 consecutive seasons, he batted at least 300 with at least 25 home runs and 100 RBI. Gehrig, Mays, Musial, or DiMaggio? It's a multiple choice here, A, B, C, or D. Lou Gehrig, Willie Mays, Stan Musial, or Joe DiMaggio? Wow, that's a tough one. My first guess would be Gehrig, but I could be wrong. I don't know. That would be totally a guess, but it just seems to me that DiMaggio was injured a lot and didn't have 11 consecutive seasons where he hit 25 home runs and drive in 100 runs. Then again, Gehrig, I don't know how many years he played either, so could be Musial. Musial's kind of like that guy that kind of just is on the outside looking in from those 3 gigantic other names, but not that Musial's a small name by any means. But I'll defer to the chat and let the chat answer with something more definitive than what I threw out. Gehrig is right. Oh, cool. All right. Gehrig was right. Obviously, he had a consecutive game streak, so he's going to be in the game long enough to hit those home runs, and he's hitting in front of Babe Ruth, so he gets the chance to drive in the runs before Babe Ruth does. So that was my logic on that. Thank you, Kathy, for that question. All right. Top of the 8th we go. Mike Moore. Still in there. Yeah, I was between the 2 there, Bart. I was between the 2. Musial would have been a good guess as well. All right, here is George Bell. 411, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Quinones, a 3E31 for Quinones. 3 and a 13, he'll get to it. E31 and a 6, you would think wouldn't be a problem. E30, what it is. E31 and a 6 is a 1-base error. There you go. Quinones and E31, and that's a 6. So that's a 1-base error on Quinones. He boots it. And that will put George Bell at first base. Not what Mike Moore and the Mariners needed, that's for sure. But it is just the first error of the game for either team. So here's Barfield. He is homered and singled and given up a double and hit into a double play. Boy, do the Mariners go to the bullpen because Barfield has been feasting on Mike Moore pitching. So I think they're going to go to the bullpen here. They are going to the bullpen. And they're not going to go to Shields because they don't trust Shields. They're going to go to eastbound and down Jerry Reed out of the bullpen. So Mike Moore will go 7+. And we'll figure out, because he's responsible for this runner, so we can't do the totals just yet on him. But I'll fill in all the rest of the numbers for Mr. Moore. He goes 7+. He's going to give up 11 hits. So far, 4 runs, but this run here is possible. No walks and 4 strikeouts. So that was the thing that kept him in the game, was no walks. That certainly helped. So Jerry Reed is on for the Mariners. He has a +6 hold. That's certainly not going to help the cause. Should the Blue Jays get people on base. Now, Bell's not much of a base runner, so no worries there, but it's something to keep an eye on anyway. So we go to the computer and bring in Jerry Reed and get his replay numbers. Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed trying to make out like a bandit here in this one. Reed is 2-2 with 3 saves on the replay, a 6.23 earned run average. His real world ERA was 3.42, so he's been pitching terribly. 26 innings pitched, 31 hits, 6 walks, and 19 strikeouts. So Reed needs a good outing here to right the ship. 6-10 for Barfield is a ground ball third base X. That's going to be the Hound Dog Presley. 2E24. Maybe get a double play out of this. Double dies a 9, but that still might be good enough for a double play. 2 and a 9 might be a G1. Nope, it's a G2. Fielder's choice if there's no error, but that's a 15. That can be rough. Hound Dog's a 24. That's a 15. That's got error written all over it. E24 and a 15 is a 2-base error on the Hound Dog Jim Presley. How do you like that? 15, and he is an E24. There it is right there. A 2-base error on the Hound Dog. And that's going to put runners at second and third with nobody out. Back-to-back errors. Why am I putting a double there? Good thing I've got the correction tape to fix my snafus. So this is an E5, 2-base error E5. So back-to-back errors to start the 8th inning for the Mariners. Not what they had in mind. Second and third, nobody out. Lloyd Mosby, the batter. Infield is in. You got no choice. Infield's in for Mosby. 6-6, and that's a fly ball center field beast. That's going to be a sacrifice fly for Mosby. Unearned run, that will be charged to Moore, so we can close the book on Moore. He went 5 runs, 4 earned. So, sacrifice fly for Lloyd Mosby. Gives the Blue Jays now a 5-3 lead. And brings up Ernie Witt. Reed to Witt. 111. Ground ball second base A. That'll get the runner to third. But now they're a 2-way. So Reed trying to get out of this and hold the Blue Jays to just the 1 run. You got Kelly Gruber. Clutch situation for Gruber. And as we've seen before, he loses 3 different hits here on 3-8, 3-9, and 2-3. Reed to Gruber, 5-10. Ballpark single check, 1-5. That's a 6. He snuck it by, so a fly ball to right is going to end the inning. Blue Jays get the run. It's unearned. Go to the bottom of the 8th. It's now 5-3 Toronto. And Milwaukee and the Yankees were applauding this game earlier. They're now having second opinions with the turn of events that's happened here. Clancy coming out for the bottom of the 8th. He has full endurance. He gave up nothing in the 7th inning. It'll be Scott Bradley, Ken Phelps, and the Hound Dog Presley. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I can imagine the shipping is bad enough in continental U.S. I can't imagine what it is overseas. That would be, I can't even imagine that. All right, here's Bradley. 2-3, and that's a pop-up to second base. 1 away. Ken Phelps, the batter. Whoa, that red die didn't go through and missed the tube there, so let's try that again. 3-8 for Phelps, and that's a 1-3 double. That's a 4. Just missed it. Fly ball to right. When it's not going your way, it's not going your way. So he got up under just a bit, and here comes the Hound Dog. 110, and that's a split chance. 1-3 is a single. That's a 15. He will line it to short. It's going to end the inning. Now Clancy can go for the complete game, as he has not hit any fatigue rolls yet. He has got full endurance into the 9th. 5-3, top of the 9th. Jerry Reed back out for his second inning of work. Sharperson, they would normally pinch hit for Sharperson at this point in the game if they were behind, but since they're ahead, there's really no point in it. They don't have a better fielding second baseman on the roster. Garth Orge is also a 4-rated second baseman, so there's no advantage to that. If they were behind, they bring in a pinch hitter for a better hitter, but they're ahead, so I'm going to keep who they got. Reed to Sharperson. 5-3, ground ball first base C, so Bradley will field it and flip to Reed covering. One away. One down, and here's Tony Fernandez. 6-3, and that's a switch hitter batting left. That's going to be a walk. So Tony Fernandez gets aboard with the walk. And he's definitely looking to get the lead, especially with this +5 hold factor. So a 6 or a 7 he could even try without the lead. But he's going to try for the lead anyway. Doesn't get it, but they're going to go anyway. 13. Being held is a 9 with the -4 for getting a bad lead. But then you got the +5, makes it a 14. 1-14, Tony's going. And he got caught stealing, got greedy. Quinones puts on the tag, but they're playing with house money. So I guess you can get greedy that way. 2 down, and here comes Rance Mullenix. Still a good odds. I mean, 70% chance, and you just didn't work. 3-11, that's a ballpark blast for Mullenix. He already hit a home run previously on a ballpark blast, and he's done it again. Rance Mullenix, his second home run. Look at it again. 3-11, ballpark blast, 17, and the double dies a 2. Home run number 2 in the game, 4 on the season for Mullenix. What has gotten into him? Rance Mullenix, home run number 4, RBI number 17 on the season. And that gives the Blue Jays now a 6-3 lead and gives Jim Clancy even more cushion to work with. Brings up Willie Upshaw. 2 outs, base is clear. It's a 3-3 for Upshaw, and that's a home run chance. 1-11. That's an 8. That's gone. Back-to-back jacks. Willie Upshaw. And Seattle is not going to use another pitcher. This is Jerry Reed's time to do whatever he has to do. That's the first home run of the season for Upshaw, believe it or not. 151st at bat. He finally got a home run. He had 15 real world in 512 at bats. That's home run number 1, RBI number 13. Now it is no longer a save situation for a closer to come in for Toronto, so even more reason to leave Jim Clancy in the game. Here's George Bell, 4-5, and that's a 1-4 triple. 5-20 is a single. It'll be a single for Bell. And boy, Jerry Reed just hit a brick wall here for some reason or another. I don't know what's going on with him, but he was doing well until that home run from Mullenix. I mean, he had the bases cleared and 2 outs, ready to get out of the inning, and all heck broke loose. Here's Barfield. 4-7, and that's 1-19 single, so it's only 1 star, though, but it's first and second. First and second, 2 outs now for Lloyd Mosby. Four, 5, and that's trouble again. Double 1-6. That's a 5th single, 2 stars. And I think Toronto's pretty much got this one wrapped up. Again, the Mariners not going to their bullpen to waste more pitching. Here's Ernie Witt. .112 for Witt is a ballpark single check. That's going to be a foul out to the catcher, Bradley, to end the inning. But 3 runs come in, make it an 8-3 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Jim Clancy going for the complete game victory. For Reed, he's going to go 2 innings. He's going to give up 5 hits, a total of 3 runs. They were earned. Didn't strike out or walk. He walked 1, didn't strike out anybody. So for Toronto, 8 runs on 16 hits. Seattle made 2 errors. All right, here's Clancy. Going to face Davis, Kingery, and Quinones here in the bottom of the 9th. And yes, I feel confident filling this information in because it's not going to change. There's no way Seattle's going to score 5 runs in the 9th. Just not going to happen. Here's Davis, 1-8. There's a 1-16 home run. Well, at least he got 1 run back, and that's a home run from Alvin Davis. Toronto bullpen now starts to loosen just in case. Look at it again. 1-8 is a 1-16 home run. That's a 10. So for Alvin Davis, home run number 7, RBI 21, but it just makes it 8-4. Solo home run. They need 3 or 4 3-run homers, not solo homers. Here's Kingery. 1-8, and that's a walk. So Clancy may not be able to finish what he started. He may need some help to finish this thing. Quinones, 276 hitter, not bad. Let's look and see who they have on the bench. Do they have anybody better that they could pinch hit with? They got John Christensen. He's only 242. Valley is 256. Ramos 311. But he's right. Wait, so is Quinones. They're going to pinch hit for Quinones. He's 0 for 3. We're going to bring in Domingo Ramos to pinch hit. And if it miraculously goes to extra innings, he would stay in the game to play short. But Domingo Ramos is on. And Tom Hinkie is loosing in the bullpen for the Blue Jays just in case. All right, so pinch hitting will be Domingo Ramos. Everybody on the bench is right-handed, so there are no left-handed choices to go to. Ramos is only hitting $150 on the replay in 20 at-bats with 1 home run. He hit 311 real world. Clancy to Ramos, 3-9, and that is a ground ball shortstop A, 6-4-3 double play. Talk about a rally killer right there. There you had it. Rally killer at its finest, a 6-4-3 double play on the 3-9 result. Quinones would have lined to short. So with that same roll, but you know that roll would not have happened probably if you think about what Jeffrey talked about the butterfly effect with different things happening. So here's Harold Reynolds, last chance. 4-9, and that's a 1-3 triple. 5-20 will be a double. So the Mariners not going to go away. And now Clancy is officially tired. But they're going to see if he can get this last out. It is John Moses. Moses, 246 hitter, but he's a switch hitter and he's a leadoff guy, so batting leadoff for a reason. Clancy going to pitch to Moses. 6-9, and that's a single to left field. Harold Reynolds will score automatically, I assume, because he runs at a 17. There were 2 outs, makes him a 19. The single is, let's see, 6-9 to left field. Bell's a -2, make him a 17. But if you throw through for him, Moses is going to take second automatically. So they will throw the ball into second base because Reynolds' run not all that important. So it's an RBI single for John Moses. Cuts the lead to 8-5, and now that's going to be it for Clancy. They can't get the complete game out of him as they had wished, so they will bring on Tom Hinkie to finish the ball game and get that final out. Clancy's going to go 8 2/3, and we'll figure out the rest later. Phil Bradley, your batter, in now an 8-5 game. Tying run is on deck. So let's bring in on the computer. We bring in Mr. Hinkie, who's had a rough season so far on the replay, trying to right the ship. Hinkie on the replay, well, in real world, he was 0-6 with a 2.49 ERA and 34 saves. In the replay, to this point, he's 0-3 with 9 saves and an ERA of 5.12. 19 innings pitched, 21 hits, 11 walks, and 22 strikeouts. So Hinkie, that's a 1 chance of a wild pitch. So I got to go to the computer to get the wild pitch number for Hinkie, because 87 cards don't reflect that information. He's a wild pitch of 11. So 1 to 11, we got a wild pitch. And we do. So Double Dot came up 1 twice in a row. I'm telling you. It's amazing. Doesn't matter what D20 I choose, whether it's red, green, black, white, yellow, doesn't matter. Blue, they all come up ones more than 5%. All right, so here's Phil Bradley now with Moses at second base against Hinkie. 6-8 for Hinkie, struck him out, and that's the ball game. About the easiest save Tom Hinkie's going to get right there. That'll be save number 10 for Tom Hinkie. Got a strikeout, and that was it. So Clancy's going to go 8 2/3, give up 7 hits and 5 runs. They were all earned, as Seattle puts up 2 in the 9th. Let's see his walks and strikeouts. Clancy struck out 8. No, I'm sorry, struck out 7. That was Hinkie's strikeout. He struck out 7. And let's see how many he walked. 1, 2. Got him for 4 walks. 1, 2, 3, 4 walks for Clancy. So the final line score: 8-16-0 for Toronto, 5-7-2 for Seattle. Toronto improves to 26-14. Seattle drops to 16-26. Losing pitcher was Mike Moore. He drops to 3-5. Winning pitcher Jim Clancy improves to 8-1. And Tom Hinkie picks up save number 10. So we go to the box score to wrap this thing up and look forward to the May 24th date. Anything out of the ordinary? I guess player of the game was Jesse Barfield. He went 3 for 5, including his 15th home run. So was going to give the player of the game to Jim Clancy, but he imploded in the 9th inning. So it looks like Jesse Barfield is going to be the player of the game. Jesse Barfield, your player of the game for Toronto. Jesse Barfield. He is your player of the game. We'll look at the standings after this game and see exactly what Toronto did to catch up in the standings. Toronto, with that win, pulls to within a game and a half of Milwaukee. They are now 26-14. Milwaukee is 26-11. Yankees are 26-15. The Yankees will play California later in this date. So if the Yankees win, they will pull into a second-place tie with Toronto at a game and a half back. Seattle drops to 16-26. They're now fully 6.5 back in the standings, in last place in the West. So the West, other than Seattle, everybody else is within 3 games, but Seattle's kind of the outlier there. So I want to thank everybody for joining me here on this Friday morning for this Stratomatic 1987 game. Kathy, special thanks to you for your trivia questions. And just hope you all have a great weekend. There is no Demolition League game tonight because of high school football, so won't be doing that tonight. I may come on and do something this afternoon. I don't know. I doubt it, but it's possible. You might see something that's not Stratomatic related. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on. But whether I do or don't, for sure, Monday morning, we'll be back in the 1987 replay. And as I look at the 24th, the schedule on May 24th, it was a Sunday back in 1987, May 24th. We have these matchups to go. We have Baltimore at Oakland. Not exactly a sexy matchup there. Chicago at Boston, which is Jose De Leon and Bob Stanley. Cleveland's at Milwaukee. That's Ken Schramm and Teddy Higuera. Detroit's at Minnesota. That's Jeff Robinson and Les Straker. Kansas City is at Texas. Mark Gubiza, ID Jester's favorite pitcher, against Jose Guzman of Texas. Yankees at California. Dennis Rasmussen against Don Sutton. And a good matchup here in Seattle. Dave Stieb against Mark Langston. That'll certainly get played. I don't know if it won't be the first game because it's on the West Coast. So probably be looking at Chicago and Boston. Jose De Leon and Bob Stanley going at it at Fenway Park. That's the only game on the East Coast. Everything else is either in Minnesota, Texas, Milwaukee, or the West Coast. So all the three West Coast teams are at home. So next game, game number, whatever that game that's going to be, because I think it's going to be 285, because I got two more games to play offline this weekend to finish up the May 23rd date. And then 285, game 285, will be Chicago and the Red Sox. Jose De Leon against Ron Juckett's favorite pitcher, Bob Stanley. So hope you all enjoyed that broadcast of the Stratomatic 1987 American League replay. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Have a happy weekend, everybody.